Hey gang, welcome back to Unclear. And we've spent a lot of time recently spearing, big corporations. Your Disneys, your Marvels, your LinkedIns. So today we're gonna scale it down a little bit. Okay, bring it home and talk about something more of a personal struggle. Maybe a personal victory, but a personal struggle. One that takes place every day, in fact, a daily fight, if you will. And I'm, of course, talking about Duolingo. Now, if you've listened before, if you've watched before, then you already know that I'm about that Duolingo life. I started using it because I was moving here to Italy, but I imagine if you have thought about learning any modern language, then you've probably also thought about Duolingo, and maybe you've even tried it out a little bit. So let's start with those table stakes, right? Let's start with what we all know. It's a language learning app. It's a fun, gamified app, right? Helps people learn languages from building blocks level to hopefully some sort of conversational level. And it does so, with a fun cartoon owl that guides you through exercises. And you have a certain number of hearts, and you lose a heart when you make a mistake in those exercises. Nice and simple, right? And a fun, engaging way to learn a language that's on your phone. And there's, accreditations and professionals out the wazoo working on this thing and working on how the exams and the tests are put together. So feels legit in that sense. And again, I imagine if you've learned a bit of French, learned a bit of Spanish, then maybe you've tried it out. And maybe you know that as you play these games, losing hearts or not, if you get to the end of the game, you get experience points, XP. Pretty universal metric that's used in lots of games out there. And so it's sort of surprising to see it here in this app that's actually about learning the language, because of course, isn't the experience and isn't the point fluency? Right? Isn't that what we're going towards? About actually being demonstrably better in the language that you've chosen? But no. You get this little on the side, you get this little extra credit, XP, experience points. Very exciting. And if this is something that you do daily, because the app encourages you to do so, there's the concept of a streak. You want to keep your streak going. So if you have a daily test that you take, you do one every day, you keep your streak going. And you can keep your streak going for a very long time. And this gamified, very engaging, very delightfully designed app is reminding you to do that. And it has been much memed, the ways in which it helps you and reminds you to do that daily practice, the app. So I'm not going to go into that because, again, I feel like all of this, everything I've mentioned so far is kind of in the public consciousness. This is a known entity. One could argue a household name is Duolingo. And the concept of this green owl reminding you to do your daily practice is well known. And maybe it's even also well known that with those fun little XP points you get that you're gathering up every day, that you're put into a league. If you spend enough time on the app, if you're on there every day, you're swiping through the screens and you discover this league. And you discover that there are 30 other people currently in this league with you. How do I win the league? It's experience points. The very credits that you earned by playing the games to learn the language are now defining your position in the league table with 30 other Duolingo users the world over. Okay. So we've suddenly taken this up. This isn't just a competition, me against myself, me versus Italian, me versus Duolingo. Now, this is a competition. And I've opened this app. I've started playing. I'm doing it every day. I'm earning XP, but here I am in the Bronze League. Now, let me think about that. Okay. Bronze, you're saying. So you're suggesting that there's a silver. You're suggesting that there's a gold. And then what happens if I get to gold? What do I win? That must be the best, right? Bronze, silver, gold, right? This all makes sense to me. What happens if I get there? Now, I'd like to just take a pause there. Because maybe you know all this. Maybe you're a Duolingo user. Or maybe you've dabbled, you've seen it over someone's shoulder. We're starting on a level playing field here. So let me give you some context about myself. I am not a competitive person. I play games not in a Duolingo context, but when I play games on my PlayStation or similar, when I lose, that's fine. When I don't make progress, that's fine as well. I don't really play. There's no need to couch that. I don't play competitive sport. The only competitive sport I pay attention to is rugby. They have a very convenient tournament that happens once a year, international tournament. I can tune in, I can watch that for X weeks, and then I can stop watching sport again. Not concerned. If we are playing sport together, organized or otherwise, doesn't matter. I can win, I can lose. It's the taking part. I have never, that's probably a lie, I no longer feel the compulsion to be a competitive person and win at anything, even if, as in the case of my friggin' PlayStation, it is against myself. It just doesn't, whatever. Doesn't move the needle for me. Come at me. But there's something about this league, bro. There's something about this Duolingo league. I'm like, okay, so there's 30 of us in the Bronze League. Okay. So what happens to the top 5 in the Bronze League? Oh, they go up to the Silver League. Well, when does that happen? Oh, at the end of the week. Interesting. So you're saying that if I do my language tests each day, my little language games, which I was going to do anyway, because, again, if we just zoom all the way back out, the goal is to learn Italian. Okay? That seems out the window now. Because now we're talking about, well, if I get to the top 5 of bronze Italian learners, then I can go into the top 30 of the silver Italian learners. And then when I get to the top 5... Wait a minute. You're telling me I was going to be doing this anyway, this language stuff. You're telling me I'm going to be earning XP anyway, but now if I just earn slightly more XP than these other guys, I'm going up? I'm getting into the higher league? Wow. Okay, I'll do it. So now I'm not just doing one little language test every day. Now I'm doing 2. And I'm going up to the top of the Bronze League. And I'm going up to the top of the Silver League. And wouldn't you bloody know it? I make it all the way to the Gold League of Duolingo. You know, I've done my hard work in the week. We get to the Sunday or whatever. I'm in the top 5. When Sunday, it reaches like 9 o'clock or something like this. At 9 o'clock, the board's cleared. Who's in what? If you're in the top 5, through you go. If you're anything else, you suck. If you're in silver and you're in the bottom 5, back you go, back to bronze, my friend. So now there's stakes. There's something to lose as well as something to win. I'm like, okay. And so I do my double exams per day, my tests, my games. And I get to the gold and I think, wow, this is it. I've made it, right? And then I see top 5 of the Gold League go to the Sapphire League? I'm like, what in the name of later generation Pokemon games is this? I scroll and I see, you think it was just Sapphire after Gold? You're crazy. You're crazy. You think that the owl would let you off like that? Bro. There's too many Duolingo users. There's too much language to be learned. We can't just stop at Gold. We got to go Sapphire. Then we're going through some precious gemstones. We got Sapphire. We're into Ruby, Emerald. Oh, amazing. Okay, you're at the top of Emerald. You think you've made it out? You're a joke. Amethyst, Pearl, Obsidian, bro. We're getting into the real obscure, one could argue more precious things. What the heck is going on? Gold is a distant memory, my friend. And it culminates in the Diamond League. Now, you can't mess around, okay? You cannot mess around. Now that you're in the game, you're in the game. Gold was nothing. You think doing 2 exams, fucking whatever I'm going to decide to call them, I'm sure I'll settle on it eventually. You think you're going to do 2 per day and make it to the Gold League? My friend, you begin, as I did, to work out a system. You begin to see through the code of the matrix that is Duolingo, which, now I'm thinking about it, is actually just code because it's an app. Let me invite you into my world. If you do a test, a Duolingo thing, before noon, between the hours of 6 a.m. and noon, then after 6 p.m., you get for free, just for doing one early in the day, you get double XP for 15 minutes. So it means you got to do one in the morning between 6 and 12. Easy enough, right? Do it with your Cheerios, right? Do it on your first coffee break. Nice and easy, just some basic level stuff. That's a little amount of XP. You know, in the end, it's nothing. But you got the XP. You got your first one in your bag. You get your notification. Come back at 6 p.m. for that double XP moment, my friend. And you're like, let's do it. So evening arrives. You're like, oh, have I done enough? Am I ready? Like, this is going to be it. We've got a 15-minute sprint here. We've got to make it all the difference. You unlock the double XP and you're like, let's frinkin' go. You could try and maybe do another test. Do another little language exam, right? Okay, answer the questions, fill in the blanks, amazing. How many of those can you do in 15 minutes? Now, here's the problem. They only give you so much XP. Even if you double it, is that going to be enough to set you apart in the leagues? No. Of course not. So what they've provided is in the league table itself, right bang in the corner, is like a ramp up, fastest gun in the West kind of situation. Sometimes we're matching cards. Sometimes we're just doing usual language exams, but against the clock. So we've got this like 1 minute, 2 minute kind of challenge. You're bosh, fingers are aflame, thumbs I suppose. You're really, really going for it. And you're trying to cram in as many of these as you can in 15 minutes to get as much, not just XP, but double XP to set you apart in the league. Now, if you're on the free tier of Duolingo, it gets you a long way. But what it only gets you is 5 mistakes. 5 mistakes. 5 hearts. If you make a mistake, you lose a heart. You make 5 mistakes, you lose all your hearts, you're done. You're done. They come back, but they come back slow. Like an hour, and like 4 hours per heart, something like this. It really, so you can't just smash unless you're amazing and getting 100% every time, in which case, why are you using Duolingo? You're supposed to be learning the language, not proving whatever you're trying to prove. Okay? So somewhere in between the limits of 15 minutes to do as much as you can, 5 mistakes that you get to make, and 30 other people from across the globe who are in this league with you, you've got to fight tooth and nail to get to that top 5. And that's how you progress as the clock strikes 9 on the end of the week. That's how you progress into the next league. And again, you just do this every day, and this becomes so second nature. It is just, I'm making coffee, oh, I'm doing my Duolingo. It's just part of my day. Now, the problem with that is, of course, that these fantasy leagues on this dumb little app become very real. And it matters a lot all of a sudden to get from one league to the next. It hurts a profound amount to drop down from one league to the previous. And all of a sudden I'm a competitive individual. All of a sudden I'm trash talking other people in my league because I know that Janice does not deserve a place in the Diamond League. But I fought for this. I came here all the way from bronze, bro. I came here all the way from never spoken a franking word of Italian in my franking life. And here I am creeping up these leagues, putting in the time, earning that experience, getting that double multiplier, getting that early morning thing. And then every so often, to really mix it up, Duolingo goes, bro, you've done great. You've done amazing. And we know what you don't like about the free tier of Duolingo. And it's, it's having the hearts, it's seeing the ads, it's things like this. So here's a little treat, says the owl. Here's a little treat for working so hard. We're not even going to relate it to your performance in the leagues, just sheer number of days put against the grindstone. We're going to award you with 3 days of the pro tier. And you're like, oh, fuck yeah. Like, all I had to do was put in regular goddamn effort. This is why the owl was bothering me in that first week, that second week, because now I'm here at X hundred days, and he's like, oh, you got X hundred days, bro? Have pro for free. Only for a little bit. And so suddenly you realize that if you're stuck in a league, you're trying to get to that top 5, and you hit a sweet spot of it's a good part of the, language learning experience. It happens to be something that you're comfortable with and can kind of kill it with each exam. You've got full 5 hearts ready to go, and then maybe you get this pro experience, so you got unlimited hearts, you got the double multiplier, Sundays tomorrow. All the pieces are set for you to climb into that next league and make a difference and see that success for yourself. But it has to line up like that, because the opposite is so true as well. And if you're in something like the Obsidian League, trying to get up to that last level, everything else before seems like nothing. But people are fighting tooth and nail in that Obsidian League. There are no friends there. We're all coming for each other. And as the clock ticks out near to that 9 o'clock on a Sunday, suddenly those double multipliers really make the difference. Suddenly that pro trial really makes a difference. You're like, oh, well, I can just keep going. And suddenly you realize you've been doing tests for 3 hours straight just to get from 6th to 5th in the Obsidian, and maybe taste the diamond. So let me tell you, listeners, I've done it. I've been in the diamond. I know you. I was setting you up for struggle there. I know I'm painting a real detailed, clear picture of how difficult this is, and the sheer talent and the sheer competitive nature that this takes. But I did it. And life's good. Life's good when you're in the Diamond League. Everything's great, You're like, oh, Well, hang on. We've all made it. Everybody in this 30 is like the best of the best, right? We fought through Amethyst. We fought through Pearl? Are you kidding me? In the rear view, my friend, everybody here in Diamond is chilling. Well, no. The top 25 of 30 people in Diamond is chilling. The bottom 5, unfortunately, will be relegated. But because there's no fight for the top of Diamond League, generally speaking, it's a chiller environment. The drinks are passed round. Everybody's kind of kicking back a little bit. Maybe I don't need to do my double exams. Maybe I don't need my XP multiplier. Maybe we can just enjoy Italian. Wouldn't that be nice? And all you got to do is just check in and be like, am I in the top 20 at least? When you're in the 20 to 25, you've got to start to worry. And of course, if you are relegated, then you're back in the Obsidian League, where the knives are out and nobody makes any friends. And that's what happened to me. I took my after ball. You know, I got comfortable. That's my issue. I got comfortable in the Diamond League. I stopped doing my doubles. I stopped making the most of those multipliers. I stopped trying, you know? I gave up on myself. I got comfortable. I was enjoying the spoils of the Diamond League, the camaraderie, you know? And that's the moment when life comes at you. When you're too comfortable. When you think, yeah, everything's going well. I fought hard to be here, and now I'm here. No one can knock me off this perch. Nothing unexpected can happen. And if I just do what I've been doing, you know, kind of on autopilot, then everything's going to be fine. Until one day. You have a busy weekend. Some friends around. You go to dinner. You think, I did my Duolingo earlier today. I should be fine. It's not a problem, right? And then you wake up the next morning to a notification. Now, Duolingo sends you a lot of notifications from all its different characters, but when you get one from the owl, you know it's serious. And the owl approached me on the Monday morning and said, listen, I've got some news. I'm like, oh, no. Because the thing is, Duo, the thing is that I've been in this Diamond League now for like the best part of a year. I fought my way. What are you trying to say? And he goes, listen, I know. I hear what you're saying. Absolutely, I hear what you're saying. The issue is that Jeff, like just last minute, you know, he got out of like a real hot streak and he got into 25. You didn't even, like, you went to 26, bro. It's not even that deep, but you know, I don't make the rules. And I'm like, bro. And the worst part is, as I go down, as I collect my things, and I go down from Diamond to the hellscape that is the Obsidian League, he goes, Duo, the owl. He turns to me and he goes, listen, just between us mates. If you scrape together 2,000 diamonds, we can get you back into that league. I haven't even talked about the currency of diamonds, but that comes also as you do these tasks and stuff. Let me tell you, 2,000 is a bankrupting amount. I've never seen 2,000 diamonds in my freaking life. And I've been on this app for a while. This is not a deal that he's offering me. It's an insult. And so down I go. And suddenly, life's very different. You know? It's not about easy street. It's not about enjoying the spoils. It's not about spending time with equals, with peers. It's about looking around you. Everybody else in the Obsidian League, they have an agenda. They want the spot you want, and they will cut you to get it. They're the ones who, they're languishing on a Sunday morning, and then they come in Sunday 7 p.m. The brutality, the things I've seen. And so everybody's shifting around in this group of 30. Everyone's betraying everyone. It's like, just horrific. And as you sort of jostle 25, 26, you're like, wait, I can't be doing this again. I can't fall out of the Obsidian League, can I? Because, I got used to thinking I'm good enough for the Diamond League. Now you're trying to tell me I might not even cut it here in Obsidian? The things you think you knew, you start to question. You start to question yourself. You start to question what you know. You start to question your confidence. You think, what are we all fighting here for? Who pitted us against one another? And why am I fighting in this game? If I just drop down these stupid leagues, can't I continue to learn Italian unencumbered by this competitive brutality? But you can't give it up now, can you? Really? You've tasted Diamond. You know how good it can be. So you're caught in this trap between, well, yeah, I want Diamond. I want to get that prize. I want to put myself up there among the big boys. I want to prove that I'm worth it. And then you say, but what is the prize? And is it worth it? And is what I'm doing to myself worth what's going to come out the other side? And then again, you're in that drop 20 and you're like, wait. Why am I even thinking about fighting for this thing when it's obvious that I'm just not good enough? But that's not how life goes, right? You can't just give up. You can't let that sense of not being good enough distract you from the fact that you've already proved you're good enough. You've already been in the Diamond League. You've already done the thing. You've eaten amongst the best of the best. You've shared drinks. You've looked eye to eye. You know that that's where you can be. And that if you want it, it's yours. So you get up in the morning. You do your first exam. You get your double XP for later. You think, oh, that's nice. Maybe I'll use it. Maybe I won't. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. You find joy in the stress of the Obsidian League. I know it sounds crazy. But you recognize that life is about the hours between the games on Duolingo. And you can enjoy those and then bring your A game when it comes to double XP moment. You can relax between those moments of stress, and suddenly you find that in those moments of stress you have more energy, you have more power, you have more ability. And so something that used to be a struggle to climb up the ranks of the Obsidian, you're like, well, I'm just putting in my daily. I'm just flexing, getting it done, and then when I'm not doing it, I'm out here enjoying life. And you start to think, you know what? Obsidian's fine. Obsidian. I mean, who am I thinking? Diamond, whatever. Sure. But Obsidian, listen, we've made it all the way up from bronze here. Like, come on. We can enjoy ourselves, right? And by relaxing, by being honest about what you need and what you don't need and what you want and what you don't want, you're able to be true to yourself. Find yourself. Find more energy and ability and strength within yourself. And then suddenly it's a few days before that Sunday. You know that the Sunday 9 p.m. cutoff is coming. But you're just putting in your grind, right? You've taken your eye off that prize. And then Duolingo turns to you and says like, hey man, I noticed you've been really on a heck of a streak here. Fancy a pro tier? Just for a few days, mind. Like 3 days. Just a little preview of pro. We've got unlimited hearts. I'm like, oh, yeah, I remember. Yeah. It's probably a few hundred days since I got one of those. So lovely, bring it on. And you do a few of these with your unlimited hearts. And you're making use of your XP multiplier. And you're like, wait. I'm in like the top 5 of the obsidian. When did this happen? And you don't see the knives out. Suddenly you feel in your strength, in your power. You're just doing you. And you seem to be out ahead of the crowd. You just put in the time. You use these advantages that have been given to you. You make the most of them. Sunday rolls around. 7 o'clock. 8 o'clock. 9. Your position in the top 5 of the Obsidian League has never been in question. 9 o'clock rolls around. That's it. That's it. You're back in the Diamond League. That is my story. That was this very week. And I cannot tell you the joy, the absolute, exquisite, euphoric joy of finally reclaiming my place in the Diamond League. Oh, I was welcomed by brothers and sisters, clinks of glasses, pouring of champagne. Even Duo himself was there. He was like, fuck yeah, mate. I knew it. I had never had a freaking doubt. You tell everyone you know, or it just appears on their feed because, Duolingo's trying to be social as well. And they go, wow, Diamond League, dude, Diamond League. I mean, I never knew you left. I always assumed that you were still in it because, fuck Obsidian, right? Yeah, And that's it. And I didn't feel the stress of the fight because I had found myself comfort and ease in the fight. I didn't feel like I'd expended all my energy because I had simply just made use of the advantages available to me as and when they became available. And in my most unexpected moment, I made this graduation that I had simply stopped thinking about. And I entered back into something that I thought, I didn't even think it was gone. I thought it was gone for good. It was so out of my mind that I stopped imagining myself in that Diamond League. And yet, here we are. Dear listener, dear watcher, back in the Diamond League, as if I never left. Yes, most of that was a metaphor.